Most people look in the mirror at least once a day. Statistics actually tell us that most people look at their image, whether it's in a mirror or the reflection from a glass or perhaps an image through a phone, about 10 times a day, or sometimes even more. It's a good question to yourself. How many times do you check how your hair's looking? I don't have to check that many times throughout the day. Normally I wake up in the morning and there's no hair on the top and I think, oh well. And the hair on the side still hasn't grown that much either. But all of us probably at different times look at what our image is. That's perhaps part of loving ourselves. We want ourselves to look good. Many of us, I'm sure, the young, those who are going to enrol for confirmation tonight, you've probably thought about, what am I going to wear? How are the other people going to see me? Do I want to look like this? And we start to sort of have our love for ourselves. You look around the church at the moment, and a lot of the colour, the images, the saints have all been covered. And the church does this on this Sunday, every year in preparation for Holy Week, which will begin next week with Palm Sunday, to focus us in about what we're really about. In this gospel tonight, there were some Greeks, people who were not Jewish, they were not followers of Jesus, but we're told this: "Sir, we should like to see Jesus." And you look around the church, we actually can't see Jesus on the cross. We can't see the body of Jesus. The statue of Jesus is covered. Our other statues have all been covered. But we're called to go and find Jesus, to discover Jesus again. And covering up the externals helps us to focus on what's within. When you look at yourself in the mirror each morning, you shouldn't just be seeing yourself, but you should be able to see something of Jesus in you. This is for the young, but this is for the very old as well. All of us should be able to see Jesus within us. And when we look towards others, we should be finding Jesus as well. We should be seeing Jesus. We might not see Jesus with big long brown hair, looking like he's pretty athletic in his mid-30s, as Jesus was when he got to the time when he was crucified. But the image of Jesus is in each and every one of us. The first reading today basically sums up what the Old Testament's about. Sometimes the Old Testament gets bad raps at times. But this is what the prophet Jeremiah said, and this is really the heart of what the Old Testament is about. "Deep within them I will plant my law, writing it upon their hearts." We can have parents who tell us, you should do this, you should do that. I've sometimes talked about this with kids at school, especially around reconciliation time. Parents sometimes tell their kids the same thing over and over and over again. And eventually, the parents don't need to tell their kids to make their bed anymore, because most people like to have a clean room. At least that's the normal thing in life. Most people like to clean up their dishes. Most people like to have some of the basic things of life taken care of. You don't need to be told to have a shower, because that's what we do. We don't need rules because they're part of who we are. Sometimes there are laws that society makes, that the government makes, or even sometimes parents make laws as well. But the law of God is there deep within us. And the law of God, as we heard, deep within them I will plant my law, writing it upon their hearts. And the law of Jesus is a law of love. That's what it's meant to be, a Christian. When people see us, they should see Jesus because they see our love, our service. We're told in this gospel, anyone who loves his life will lose it. If a man serves me, he must follow me. Sometimes we love ourselves so much that we forget about others. Tonight we're beginning the journey towards confirmation for many of the young people around our church, and it's great you're here this evening. Things are a bit hidden in our church today, as you can see, with the purple. But that love of God that's within you, sometimes that can be hidden. Sometimes it's hidden in me as well. Sometimes I focus on myself, I focus on other things, and I forget that I'm meant to be Jesus, and I'm meant to be discovering Jesus and then serving Jesus in others. And so that's part of the journey towards Easter, is to pause for a moment to shut out some of the externals and focus on who we are. Is Jesus inside you? Is Jesus within you? And then can you see Jesus in others? That's the challenge. I know many of the parents around the church, they can see Jesus in our candidates. Jesus is that experience of love and service, and they can see that in you. And hopefully candidates who are around the church, you can see that in your parents as well, and in others. After Mass today, each of our candidates will have an opportunity to sign up for 3 different activities. There's a series of different activities, and we ask you in 3 different areas, because the Christian life asks us to do 3 different things. And these reflect the 3 things that Jesus does. One is worship. Jesus comes as someone who brings us into a relationship with God. And he wants us to pray individually and communally. That's what we're doing right now. We're involved in prayer. And so as part of our service is to grow in that worship of God. And so there's a number of different activities, and we ask you to sign up for one little thing to do during the program between now and the time of confirmation to help us experience the worship of God. It might be altar serving. One of our candidates is altar serving tonight. He altar serves almost every Sunday night. Some of them did readings like we had this evening. Some will be helping prepare our PowerPoints, and some might be helping with singing and other things as well, writing some of our prayers. All these opportunities of worship. Then there's an opportunity to be formed. Jesus comes, and he comes to help us to be the best we can be. And so we need some knowledge to be the best we can be. And so there's all sorts of different activities around formation to help us to have an understanding about Indigenous people, or about the environment, or about perhaps people within our own local area, how we can help them and how we can come to a better understanding of them. So there'll be a session, an activity that you can sign up, lots of different activities. You just need to sign up to one of them as part of worship, one of them part of formation, and the third activity is sometimes we refer to it as good times or bad times or community service, which has involved a few things. It might be involved visiting people at the nursing homes, which we can do now for the first time in about 12 months, which is fantastic. And there's a few other activities as well. So after Mass, our candidates who are here, there's a whole series of tables around the back. Go around, have a look to see which one might interest you, which one might work with your schedule of other activities, and sign up for a worship activity, a formational activity, and then for a community service activity as well. And that's part of our enrolment, getting ready for confirmation. So thank you for our candidates who are here tonight. We all should like to see Jesus. Tomorrow when you wake up in the morning, look at yourself in the mirror and say, can I see Jesus? And hopefully you'll be able to discover Jesus in you. And hopefully tomorrow, perhaps when you're at school or work or even whatever you're doing tomorrow, see if you can discover Jesus in at least one person out in our world, to say, yes, that person over there, I can see something of Jesus in them as well. It's all a bit hidden, as the statues are, but we need to discover Jesus again deep within us.